My name is Brian Lacey. I work with Cullman Electric Cooperative, but I'm here today as chairman of the Chamber of Commerce Government Affairs Committee to introduce our two presenters. This is the first of two events. The second will be our next Fourth Friday luncheon, when we will hear from the county's other 10 municipalities, and we hope each of you will be able to join us for that event. To start us off today, Max Townsend was elected mayor of Cullman in 2008. Prior to his election, Mayor Townsend served in the United States Air Force for 4 years, beginning in 1962. He worked as a teacher and coach in the Cullman County school system. Entered the business world in 1973 as a successful pharmaceutical salesman for Meyer Laboratories and Glaxo Pharmaceutical. Mayor Townsend, we're honored you could be here today. We look forward to your comments regarding our community's largest municipality. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Max Townsend.
Thank you, Brian. Can everybody see that screen? Yeah, I spent 4 years in the United States Air Force. Now my grandson's joined the Army. I'm very proud of him, though. It's an honor to be here today. I want to thank the Chamber. I want to thank the All-State Restaurant. And I also want to thank the Cullman Times. I read it daily. Of course, I don't think y'all put us in there with narcotics as much as the Decatur paper does. That organization really likes to talk about Cullman. We're always on the front page there. I want to thank Ricky Krebs also. Ricky's doing a fantastic job this year. The Chamber is a very impressive organization. If you're not a member of the Chamber, I suggest that you get your checkbook out and join that. The Chamber just does not work for the city of Cullman. It works for the entire Cullman County. And Kirk Manser is the director of the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm sure that he can give you an application if you're not in there. We're proud of the organization. Thank you, Kirk. You know, if it hadn't been for that EF4 tornado, I'd be up here jumping up and down, but we did have a bad storm come through. But I'm going to show you something. Even from bad things, you can still have a good year. And we absolutely had a fantastic year. When you see all the awards that have come the city's way, it's because of the employees that work for the city of Cullman. You know, 35 years in pharmaceutical sales, I never really did think very much about employees, city council, city employees. I just thought everything was running pretty smooth. Let them keep doing it. But in that storm, I saw something that really encouraged me. So if you ever have a complaint or you want to downgrade the employees of the city of Cullman, you're going to have to come through me. Because I saw unity, I saw people working around the clock to take care of the needs of this city. And my city council, it's an honor for me to be associated with the city council. I would like to recognize the city council at this time. Garland Gudger, president of the city council. Johnny Cook. Dr. Jenny Golden. Coach Andy Page. Mr. Van Hollingsworth. Have you ever heard people say a time flies when you're having fun? Golly, this is my 4th state of the city. It's almost unbelievable how the time has flown by. I know it didn't go that fast when I was in the United States Air Force, stationed in Ubal, Ratchathani, Thailand. But this year, our park and rec is second to none. We won in the state of Alabama the Quality of Life Award. And this is a great tribute to Mr. Chester Freeman and to John Hunt. We're proud of Park and Rec. They also were the only city in the state of Alabama that has ever been recognized by the National Park and Rec Board as a gold medal finalist. And that is a great achievement. And we continue to improve our park and rec, and we're proud of them. This was actually the second year that we had been in competition for the gold medal. That meeting was held in Atlanta, and we were very honored to attend that meeting and represent the city government as well as the park and rec. We've always known this, but this just verifies what we've been saying all along, and Bloomberg Business Week has verified it. They have chosen Cullman, Alabama as the best place to raise children in the state of Alabama. Come on. Feel free to clap when you hear something like that, because that takes all the whole community to do that. That's why we're a city of character, right? One of the things that is chosen on that qualifies you is the school system. And I think, Dr. Harris, you'll verify that we have one of the best school systems in the state of Alabama, and the cost of living here is very affordable. That's another reason we were chosen, and also the safety index. We're a very safe community. We're proud of that. We're proud of our sheriff's department. We're proud of our city police force. They do a great job for us. As a matter of fact, the crime index was less than 10%, and that's fantastic. When you look at our school system, here in Cullman County, we have 2 blue ribbon schools. West Point Elementary School. There you go. Mayor Kilgo. Congratulations, Mayor Kilgo, West Point. Also, West Elementary School, principals here. Now, how about those scores? Look at math, 93.8. Let's see, I might have made that on one score. That's fantastic. And the state average is 81. Reading, 95. State average, 84. We're proud of our school system. They also won an award for technology, and I know that Dr. Harris is very proud of that because she was the first one to come in here and actually start the laptop initiative. Thank you for that. You know, we're living in a world where through education, I had a group of children in the office yesterday. Pardon me, teenagers. They were not children. They're young adults. Leadership class. And you'll hear this from me constantly. And one of my sayings is that education makes dreams come true. Isn't that right, judges? It makes dreams come true. And some of those children, I had one young lady that wanted to be an aeronautical mechanic. So the sky's the limit, and you do it through education. And we're proud of both of our school systems, the city and the county, and we support education wholeheartedly. Did anybody get a chance to come out to the Oktoberfest? Wow, it was one of the biggest crowds we've ever had. I think our committee that sponsors that is one of the top 25 events in the state of Alabama. We had record attendance. We had our Strawberry Festival, which goes back for as long as I can remember. When I was a child growing up here, I can remember the Strawberry Festival. And it was one big show. We had a great time. And we're continuing that, and we'll continue to have other great things. This year was our first time to actually have a Kansas City barbecue cook-off. And that was sanctioned by the Kansas City people. And that's a great event, and we just hope that next year that we can do that again, and that we can have the turnout that we had, and maybe a little more food. I know there was some glitches, but just remember that this was our first one. So we know what those glitches are now, and we can fix those and have a little more barbecue out there, even if I have to get Matt Townsend and Zach Woods to do some barbecue. One of the pictures up there that you see is also something that we've been doing that we brought back is our Christmas parade. That was a great turnout this year, and it was fantastic. And I thank all the people for getting involved with that. I think, Garland, I think your father-in-law has been very active in that, Mr. Pierce, and we certainly appreciate that. It seems like I can't help it, but I go back to Park and Rec. They're always getting these awards. And of course, it all refers to the quality of life. Heritage Park is one of the greatest parks in the state of Alabama. Is John Hunt here? I saw Christy. I know Christy. We have tournaments over there almost year-round, don't we? 42 weekends. Now think about that. When we talk about those tournaments, I picked my mother up a couple of years ago. Kay and I did, and she wanted to know why we was building so many parks in Cullman. And I said, come on, Mother, let's take a ride. So we got Mother in the vehicle. We go down through here by the Don Green Senior Center, and there's cars everywhere. State swim meet. We had it again this year. She said, what's all these cars doing here? And I said, Mother, that's the state swim meet that came in. These people are coming in from all over the state of Alabama. And she said, well, I don't want to ride too far. I want to go back. I said, no, all we're going to do is another block. We go another block down Graham Street, turn into Heritage Park. It's packed. Full house. We stop and roll the window down, and I say, ladies, excuse me, do you mind telling me where you're from? They said, we're from Fort Payne, Alabama. I said, okay, thank you. We leave, and I say, Mother, you see all these people here, all those people at the park, swim meet, they're spending money here. Tourism is a great money catcher. You know, we'd rather pick the pockets of tourism than pick cotton. And so when we bring them in here and we treat them right, they're going to come back. They're going to go back and say, you need to go to Cullman, Alabama. That's a fine place to live, and we're proud of it. And I think I just mentioned the Heritage Park, the state swim meet, and now we're going to the, yeah, this is one I really want to hit on. I had a lady come in my office, and she said, you know, my brother said he's not going to shop in Cullman because the city gets all the tax money. That's not true. The biggest portion of that tax revenue goes to the state. If you'll look up here, you can see that on the first line, the state of Alabama, they get 4%. Now, this is mandated tax by the state of Alabama, by the legislature. We have to pay those. And you can see that the city of Cullman gets 1.75. The general fund gets 1%. You can see the Cullman County school system got $3 million out of $40 million. County municipalities, that's each city, got their fair share. Cullman County Road Department, Cullman County Rural Fire Departments. And as you look down at the bottom, the state got $18 million. The county got $10,585,000. The city got $10,588,000. Is that not fair? Now you notice on here the city schools weren't on there. Prior to the passage of the half-cent sales tax in the city of Cullman, you got nothing. And our school system would have been in terrible shape if that hadn't passed. And so this is what we want everyone to consider. I know there's some times that you can't find it in Cullman, but I'm asking you, look here first. Shop locally. Then if you can't find it, go out. But don't go out and buy everything else, just that one thing. You know, a lot of folks, when they go out like that, they eat out, they buy gas, they buy clothes. Fill up before you go out of town, okay? The next one is something that I want to talk to you about. It's about the Duck River Dam project. This is a project that will ensure future generations for the next 75 to 100 years that we will have ample water in this community. You can't recruit retail, you can't recruit industry without a proper supply of water, and we're making sure of that. Duck River it's going to be, at first, it was going to be an earthen dam, but we have found that through the engineers that roller compacted concrete is a better way to do it. Property acquisition right now stands at 67% completed. We'll be going out for bids this year. You can see those dates. That'll be in March. Also, on the map there, you can see how close in proximity they are to each other. So a 7-mile pipeline will be built from Duck River to the treatment plant in the city of Cullman. And this is not just for the city of Cullman. Every water system in Cullman County has signed on with this project. Now, the way you pay for that project is water usage. So water revenue will help pay that bond issue off. And the county is with us on this. Right, Chairman? Amen. And we invite all the water systems to come to the board meetings. We don't have anything to hide. Trent Moore is usually there, and Amanda. So we're very proud of this project. And we believe if our forefathers had not built Lake Potomac, we wouldn't be #1 in agriculture in the state of Alabama, would we? We had to have that water supply, and we'll continue to need that water supply. And I ask that everyone support this project, and so far we've had great response, and we're proud of that. Several years ago, the Greif property, which is on 2nd Avenue, and it's close, very close to our major thoroughfare, to our school systems. So we purchased that property with the sole purpose of cleaning it up. This has been a process. The engineering firm that is doing this cleanup is Goodwood Mills and Kaywood. Through their efforts on this project, they have been asked to present at the Alabama Groundwater Conference about this remediation project going on in Cullman, because it's a green project and it's very economical. They have also been invited to speak in the state of California at a similar conference in California to hear about Cullman, Alabama. That's amazing. We're proud of this project. We've got some plans for this project. It is classified as cost-effective, green, and sustainable cleanup. So we will continue with that project. Right now, we're going to build a garage on there, the city garage. We've also, our police department has moved to that location. It is presently operating at that location. We've actually looked at some other alternatives there when we get out of this recession, and that's something I want to compliment this council on too. They believe in stewardship. They're not big-time spenders. We knew coming in that we were in the worst recession that this country had faced since the Great Depression, and they've done a fabulous job in stewardship with money and budget. I want to give you a hand. We've done some things around the city also. If you've noticed at Depot Park, the Kiwanis Club came to me and wanted to know if they could do a walk of flags at Depot Park. Where that walk of flags is located, it is, that's the wrong one. Yeah, right here, that's the walk of flags. That's 51 flags, one representing each state in the Union, and the United States flag in the middle. What was there before was a berm about yay high with pine trees that had been planted there to block the view of the Greif property. So when they asked me about that, I thought it was a great idea, and they paid for it. We didn't pay for it. They bought all the flags, all the equipment, the cement, everything. We took the berm down and did what we had to in there to make it right. And if you go by there, you'll see it's a beautiful sight. We're also downtown. If you went downtown during Christmas, it was a magnificent sight. With the new lightings and the new decorations that we have, it's called Streetscape. We're continuing to work on that. We have joined the next step with the county. We're going to take it down from where it stops just north of the First Baptist Church. We'll go down to 7th Street, doing it on both sides, and the county has agreed with us that we'll split that project. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Now we can go to the next one. Another award came this way, and it was through our sanitation department under PALS. Cullman won the statewide in city division, and that's a thanks to our sanitation department. I had talked one time to I think I was talking to Dr. Harris, that we were talking about college is important. You know, we need doctors, lawyers, mayors, teachers, but we also need people that can run a city. And you can't do without men that dig up the streets, pick up sanitation. Those people are just as important as anybody you'll ever meet. We can't do it without them. I graduated Cullman High School in 1962. And when I came in as mayor, I started looking up there and I thought, boy, all these people are walking in the streets, down Stadium Drive, up Oaks. And I thought, that's dangerous. So we started a sidewalk program to get people out of the street that want to jog or walk. They need to be out of the street, because every person that comes through my office that has been hired in the last 4 years, this is what I tell them. And I say, when you leave here, you're going to be tested. Number one is safety. I don't want to see any citizens in Cullman hurt. If there's a red light out, get it fixed. If there's a pothole or a manhole open, fix it. If you need better and bigger sidewalks, do it. And I don't want employees hurt. Number two, no profanity. I say that's a reflection on city government, the city council, and the mayor. You get out there and you're working for the taxpayer, clean it up. Don't use vile profanity. Number three, I want an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. If you've been out and sent out to do a job, do it right, and go and find out what you can do after you finish that job. Because we're all on your dime, working for you. And our employees do that. We've also done some street paving this past year. We'll continue as money comes in. We continue to do that. Chairman, am I talking too long?
He's your monitor here. I don't know.
I know last year he ran into my time. Thanks to the county, Buchanan, Jackson, and Sammy, we got one fire truck. We've got the ladder fire truck from a grant at the county road. It's a beautiful fire truck. We also engaged the school systems to design that fire truck. They came up and they wanted black and gold. It's a fantastic fire truck. It was well needed because the other fire truck was over 25 years old. It actually can't be used now for a fire truck, but it can be used for training purposes, and that's what we'll do. We'll turn that over and let each fire department in the county use that aero truck, ladder truck. Our management personnel, Tom Charney, is the person that's responsible for negotiating our contracts with, it's Charter now, used to be Windjammer, it's Charter bought them out. Now AT&T UVerse is here, so we have access to 2 page stations. Page stations are public, education, and government. You have to utilize those stations 51% of the time for those 3 things, and the other 49% you can actually sell for advertisements. We have an 8-year contract with AT&T UVerse, and once they roll out that completely, that page station will be located all across the state of Alabama with 1 million customers. We think, and the council thinks, that it has great potential, not just for the city, but for the county. We want to promote Cullman County. What's good for one is good for all. I've said it 1 million times. Cullman, the city of Cullman, is in Cullman County. It's not an island. We're not alone. We're all in this together. We are actually working with education to see how we can build that out and maybe turn it into some classes at Wallace College. I hope we can do that. On April the 27th, we got devastated with the EF4 tornado. And I want to commend the council once again with a response. We created a disaster relief team, and I want to thank Phyllis Little because she was instrumental in this. When I came into office, she called me and she said, Mayor, there's going to be a class taught down here that I think you need to take. And just getting in the office, I thought, oh man, right to the classroom I go. And I said, what does it deal with, Phyllis? And she said, natural disasters. And she said, you'll get credit, and it's being taught by Texas A&M, which, by the way, just joined the SEC. We got a Texas A&M fan in here. And I went down there, and that was one of the best classes I ever took. Those guys had been at Ruby Ridge. They had been at Oklahoma City bombing. They'd been shot. They'd been blown up. And I remember a question on the test or during discussions that we were talking about. If you had a natural disaster in your town, who would you put in charge? And I thought, well, all that came back to me when that happened. And of course, you know, you're going to have your law enforcement, you're going to have the fire chief, you're going to have a public relations officer, that was Dale Greer, and then you're going to have public safety, and that was Tom Charney. And we turned that over to them, and they ran it like you couldn't believe. They did a fabulous job. And I would have to say this, that I've never seen a community more unified when that disaster struck. Neighbor helping neighbor. That first Saturday, we had over 1,100 or 1,200 volunteers at Cullman High School, and I called Rick Henry, and I said, what's going on, Rick? He said, he laughs, and Rick always is one of these happy employees. Consider it done, Mayor. That's what he always loves to say, consider it done. He had 1,200 people, and he's laughing. I said, what's funny, Rick? He said, I got 1,200 people up here in cutoffs, flip-flops, and I got 2 handsaws. That's just the type of person he is. But people pitched in. The county helped us. Hampsville got hit that morning. I called Mayor Nails and I said, do you need help? He said, absolutely. We sent 3 crews down there to help them clear their streets. He said, what time do you want them back? And I said, 2:30. They just got back to Cullman and we got hit around 3 o'clock. So that was, I'd have to thank everybody. Churches, magnificent. All you could hear was chainsaws and you smelled charcoal. That's on the next page. You could go down through town, you know, all the school systems emptied their freezers. Everybody was cooking for everybody. The church was getting involved. And that Saturday, the chairman and I were doing a news release at the city auditorium. And someone was speaking, and I leaned over to the chairman and I said, Chairman, don't you think this would be a good time for a community prayer service? And he said, absolutely. I got back to the podium and I happened to look over there and I saw my pastor, Bob Kurtz, and I said, Pastor Bob Kurtz, we want to have a countywide service. Will you be in charge of it? He said, yes. The next day, we had casting crowns at the fairgrounds with over 13,000 people there and collected over $20,000. And a lot of that went to the Red Cross, it went to the United Way, and I'll tell you, just we got donations from industry, from individuals, from other towns. It was truly amazing. When a disaster happens, the first thing is, I remember coming out of City Hall, and I was in shock. You just don't think those things are going to happen to you and hit in your downtown like that. You go through shock, and then you have to have hope. And that Sunday was a hope. And then we had an air show. And this was the chairman and myself served on that board. And they came to us, the people in charge of the air show, and wanted to know if we wanted to cancel. And we said, no, this is not the time to cancel. The people need to know that we're going forward, we're going to rebuild, we're going to come back stronger and bigger and better than before, and this is hope. They need to get out, they need to come up here. And it turned out to be one of the most magnificent air shows that's ever been held in Cullman County. There again, we had a niche, but the next time we know what to do, and the biggest problem we had, we did not anticipate 13,000 people showing up for that air show. So we did have a little problem with getting into the air show. Another award that came from that was that poster that was created. This poster won first place in Las Vegas for air shows 50,000 and under. Now that's a pretty good achievement right there for our air show. It brought everybody in Las Vegas that attended that, and there's over 350 air shows every year in the state of in the United States of America. And we won first place. And all of them knew that what had happened in Cullman, the disaster, the tornado, yet we went right on, life goes on, and we picked up. And this was a great award, and we're very thankful for our airport. They're doing a fantastic job. When the chairman and I came in, we decided that we were going to go together and start promoting that airport and to let people know that we had a great airport, and it helps out as far as tourism, industry, and retail. I mentioned about the downtown area. Now then, this is the healing process. We're in the process, and some folks think that you can do like bewitched, wiggle your nose, and all this goes away, but it doesn't. It takes time. One of the things that we found out during this was that insurance companies sometimes can be very thorough in their work, and so a lot of these buildings that you see still standing could have something to do with insurance payments or settlements. Also, we have a tree recovery program. I talked to Darrell Johns the other day, the arborist, and we've been awarded 4,200 trees. It will be black gum, willow oak, water oak, dogwood trees. We will probably disperse those sometime in the near future, but when we find out the final date, we'll put that in the Cullman Times, and we'll put it on the website, and we'll let everybody know when they can pick their trees up. This is for individual homeowners. It's for those people that lost trees. But I assure you, if we have any left over, we're going to pass them out to everybody that needs them. Some more amazing news came this year. And I want to thank our economic director and her staff, Peggy, and your staff. This year, we got some gold stars for Cullman. Look right there. Topre announced this past year $109 million addition, creating 250 jobs. Utaka expansion, third time, 15 million expansion. Royal Technologies, 25 million. Rahal, 4 million with 116 new jobs. Keystone, new 60,000 foot facility. Summa, 21 new jobs. And Cullman Casting reopened this year. This is a fantastic year for Cullman. We also purchased 170 acres from the borough estate. 60 for industrial development on the north side of 222. Over 100 acres on the south side that will be deemed for recreation, parks, or some type of thing like that. Anything from an amphitheater to a convention center to a new civic center. Those things could be in the future. Okay. You know, a lot of people want to know too what we did as far as retail. Well, we we've had several new stores come in here, and I know that I get a lot of questions about when are some of these other restaurants coming and so forth. But we did have some good news. We've had Mount Fuji, Five Guys Burgers and Fries, Yoga Mountain, 32 degrees, Downtown Standard. We've had a lot of these that reopened, and we also created a recovery program for the downtown. We were actually talking about the recovery program and the facade program before the tornado ever hit. We've had people calling from other communities wanting to know how we established that recovery program and the downtown facade program, because they're interested in doing the same thing. So we had to pass an ordinance to make this possible. The council decided to allocate up to $5,000 if you restore the facade on your building downtown. I think that you could actually get more than that if you had a two-sided building on the corner. So that would be up to $10,000. One of the things is that we don't want to see our downtown, the integrity destroyed, the beauty and the heritage. So if we keep that alive and encourage people to take care of their property, we think that that's a good thing. And I want to thank the council for that also. There's an organization here that has really exemplified unity, and that's the Cullman County's Mayor's Association and the County Commission. All of these towns are members of this organization, and I can't say enough. Mayor Patton has been serving as the chairman for the last year. She's done a fantastic job, but you can see that all these communities are pulling together more than I've ever seen in this county, and I've lived here all my life. But we're united in our efforts to make sure that Cullman is the best place to live, work, and play, and that's our goal. And we will make sure that that happens. We are united in that effort, and I want to thank that association as well. What I've mentioned before is thank you for proving to me that Cullman, Alabama is a city of character. You've got character. And the greatest thing about that is a community is only as great as the character of the people that make up that community. And you got character in this county, and I'm proud of it. I'm honored to serve. We do have a lot of good things coming. We've got the borough property, which we can develop. We're talking to all types of people right now. Last week, we visited some restaurants in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We also went to the amphitheater. They have an amphitheater down there that's second to none. I don't know if we can break out right now and do that one, but we can look at it. You've got to have a vision. You can't just sit up here and not have a vision down the road. And we are united with the county and every municipality in this county on some projects. 157, 4-lane. The bridges are going to start this year over Lake Catoma and the railroad. We absolutely want 222 off and on ramps there, because that can create development, and we will develop that. It's an honor for me to serve as mayor of Cullman, Alabama, and from the bottom of my heart, I've enjoyed this past 4 years, and I look forward to continued service, serving the people of this great community. Thank you.
James Graves was elected chairman of the Cullman County Commission in 2009. Prior to his election as chairman, Mr. Graves served 28 years in the U.S. Navy, served as the county administrator, served as the Carts director, and was appointed by then Governor Bob Riley to serve on the State Board of Veteran Affairs. Chairman, we're also honored that you could be with us today as well. I know everyone's looking forward to your comments. Please join me in welcoming Chairman Commission, Cullman County Chairman Commissioner James Graves.
In 2008, when I got elected in November, honest and truly, deep in my heart, I never thought Duck River Dam was going to become a reality, because it seemed like almost an insurmountable battle that with the two commissioners opposing me type thing, we wouldn't be able to achieve that. But I told Peggy Smith, Economic Development, I'm going to give it my best. And for 2 years, I fought every which way I could. I borrowed attorneys, anybody do a little pro bono work for me or whatever. We went to court, which way we could to block them. And Bill Morgan, I think that Ben Bullard did a fantastic job in writing, even the court proceedings and all that, and the details of what was going on in a way that the citizens of Cullman County could understand. And by reading the Cullman Times, they were able to stay up on what was going on. And in November of 2010, thankfully, you sent 2 bonds home, and you gave me 2 outstanding men to work with me as county commissioners, and they're here today. County Yarborough and Darrell Hill, y'all with me, and I appreciate that, and we're going forward from there, and Duck River today is going to be a reality, as the mayor said, and I'm just so ever so pleased that we've been able to accomplish that to that extent. Mayor, we can do something if both of us are here next year on this situation in here. I apologize. This is the age of technology, Judge, and we should be able to do something. You folks back here can't hardly see anything the layout of the room. Next year, big screen TVs chopped up so that everybody in here can have a good view of what is shown on that screen, and we can talk. I promise you, it's going to be a reality.
That's on the county's budget.
I'll sum an invoice. Jan Harris, this week I noticed my daffodils were blooming in the yard. I don't know if yours were too. It's a little early, but yeah, they look so delicate, but they're tough. They are tough. That's what it takes some time in life. But they represent to me in the spring, you see them blooming, it's a renewal of life. Everything's going to be okay again, and you know, it kind of lifts you up and brings you on out. Yeah, disaster struck in 210 and or 211 rather, but we worked through it, and we're here today, and we're making progress and going in the right direction, and I'm just ever so pleased. I can tell you today that the county, Cullman County, we're in good financial shape. We have a balanced budget in place, and we are operating within that budget, and I expect us to continue that throughout this year. I made a statement one time at the breakfast that we're attending, kind of thing, that I will never, ever go to the bank and start borrowing money to balance our budget, and we will not do that. We will operate within our means, with what monies we have, and the citizens of Cullman County will not ever have to worry about us going over our budget or spending it. If you can't afford it, don't buy it. You know, don't spend what you don't buy. And I promise you that's exactly the way you're going to see it down the road. I have a great administrator who does fantastic work for me. He makes me look ever so good to stand up and say this kind of stuff. But he and I work closely on that to ensure it. And of course, with an organization as big as the county is, we have over 100 agencies that we deal with. So we're all continually pulling on the reins a little bit back and forth. That you're going over, you're going to have to come to a constrain your spending. You'll come back a little bit, but whatever, we're going to get there. Next one, Vincent. I think we're looking back, there we go. The mayor touched on it already, so I'm not going to say too much about that, but except the fact that everybody's been up and down the street, and I know it looks pathetic. It looks like somebody who's got some dirty clothes on and it needs to be washed and changed so bad. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Progress is being made. Judge Cheney can tell you every time that hammer hits the side of the building and he can't hear himself think. And the others, because they tell us about this. And hoping it will be done real soon. And it will be. We're going to get a total new roof replacement on it. Some of you may not remember back in about 1998, 99, we had a flat roof. And if you lived on the 3rd floor, every time it sprinkled or rained a little bit, your head was going to get wet because it leaked. And they had spent a fortune up until that time trying to solve the problem. You simply couldn't solve it. So finally we put a pitched roof on that thing, and it worked great until spring of 2011. And so we're going to go back. We're getting a total roof replacement on top of that thing. The tornado and the process of all the other damage it did, it pulled a lot of that marble loose. Some of it was already loose. Some of it was falling. But then a lot of the other pieces have also got a hold of it and pulled it so it was loose. We had no recourse then, but to simply have to take that marble off and replace it. It is going to look, if you've been in the courthouse, stop in the foyer, you'll see a picture in there of what it's going to look like when we're done, and I think it will look fantastic. out front. It will blend in with First Baptist, and I forgot what Billy Falk changed his business place to. It used to be First Federal, but the brick coloration, all that will complement one another, and I think it'll look fantastic on that street down there. I think it'd be extremely nice. We also got an energy grant to replace all the windows. Remember, this building was occupied in 1964. Well, they didn't have that back in those days. Single pane. So when it's cold, Judge Cheney and them on that side, they freeze. In the summertime, with the sun shining through, they literally burn up in there. So we're getting energy efficient windows that will make a fantastic difference and help out there. What do you call it? The streetscape. Streetscape. Mayor had approached me sometime in the past about that. Would we, the county, want to participate in that? And at the time, we couldn't get a decision made on the other two. And we've been looking at it, and with everything that's being done now, the damage is done with the courthouse, the renewal, all that. We said, yes, it was time. With this new facade on the courthouse and the replacement type thing, we're going to take that on down to 7th Street and finish that block up and have it looking a whole lot better, blending in with the other and complementing our town. And I say that truthfully, as he made the statement a while ago. I live out in Cullman County. City of Cullman's my town. This is where I come to spend. I buy my groceries here. I go to the movies occasionally with my grandkids. I'll eat out, darling, or buy something from your shop, or something of this nature. But I want to do it here in Cullman County, where I live at. I don't care anything about going to Decatur, especially after the last week. Economic development. The day of the tornado, it hit the old Bledsoe building pretty hard. Gigantic tree there, smashed it also, went in and kind of finished it off, and had Rick Wilbur come by, and he said, I can tell you right now, that is condemned. You're not going to be no rebuilding or whatever. You'll get rid of it. And so that's what we did, and we've got that block cleaned up now. And I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do. We're looking at some alternatives, so I can't speak on that right now. But later on this spring, we'll have a better idea with insurance monies, FEMA, and all that good stuff. And we'll have some announcements to make, good announcements to make along about May on some development projects that we're thinking about looking at that will become a reality also. And we'll be very, very pleased to add that to what is going on. Okay? Stone Lonesome Park, you also got hit with a little tornado that morning. There were more than three. There was one at 6:30 in the morning, there was one at 3 in the afternoon, and downtown that hit was the worst. I got home that evening at about 6:30, 15 minutes later, one hit my house. And my neighbors there next to us did a fair amount of damage in our neighborhood. And then there were smaller tornadoes that bopped down and back up again, that thing in different parts of the county. And the Stony Lonesome Park in Bremen had suffered a fair amount of damage in there, the maintenance shed, lots of trees down, which of course make up the park. And went down there, and it just all you could see was going to take months with our staff to clean all that mess up, all these trails and so forth. Well, lo and behold, Ronald Reagan used to say, one of the scariest things in the world is to have the federal government or somebody come in and say, we're here to help you, and you're tied up forever. But in this case, it was the state forestry department, and they came in with equipment, manpower. We're looking for something to do. So they jumped in that park, and let me tell you, in 2 weeks' time, they cleaned her up and got it squared away, got all those trees chopped up and all the way and piled up where they could burn them, and we were functioning again in the old HV park. If we'd had to do it on our own, it would probably still be, part of it would be shut down. So really, really a lot of thanks to those folks down there. The maintenance building was destroyed, a lot of property. The new welcome center, thankfully, our crown jewel down there, was not, and that's still functioning, looking just good, just fine. Count Meadowbrook, those a lot of you have been out there for different functions and so forth, attended it. They got hit extremely hard. About every building out there had trees on it. The beautiful walkway that leads out into the swamp, it was I don't know how many trees was on it. It was just smashed. It was a beautiful facility all over. And for a long time there, we didn't think we're really going to be able to do much to it. And of course, it comes under a board that functions also, although we have insured portion of it. But it looks like now between FEMA and the insurance, there's going to be enough funds, and they're going to be able to totally rebuild Camp Meadowbrook out there and be functioning again. So we certainly hope so. For the good of the community, I think it serves a great purpose. And soil and water conservation, RC&D, and all use that throughout the year, and it's available to the public for use. If you've never been out there or seen the facility, please do so. It's available for yourself. Okay. EMA office. 24 weather-related activations from December 2010 till December 2011. That was just this past December. 24. If you remember, we got more snow last winter than we ever had in our entire lives, and several times, for that matter. We had various storms and flooding, and then naturally the big tornadoes and so forth. So Phyllis and Kelly Allen, bless their hearts, they didn't get a whole lot of sleep in 2011. And Phyllis, serving the whole community of Cullman, I think she's worthy of a round of applause. Thank you. One of the good things that's come out of this, that well, everything else, she brought us documentation this past week. There's a company out here that has provided service to Cullman before and all that. What they're making available to us is that anybody in Alabama, right, not just Cullman County, anybody in Alabama, you go online and sign up on this service thing that will be provided by them, and you can have like your land phone at home signed up for it, and your cell phone signed up for it, and it will notify you then of any type of a activation procedure, whatever emergency it is, day, night, or whatever type of thing when it comes. So you will get noticed there. It's free. It's not going to cost a dime. All you have to do is just go on, log in, provide the numbers and so forth to it on what's available, and it's there. So Phyllis has been dogging that, looking after it for a while. We thought we were going to have to pay for something of that nature, which we would have done if we'd had to get better, weather service notices out to the folks. But this is even better now. So your landline, your cell phone, both of them I think can be utilized in this. To me, it's a win-win situation for everybody concerned. So we're really, really proud of that we can provide that. It doesn't cost a penny to us. Okay, Vincent. Road department, I can't even really grasp this. We've used one scenario. Charlotte Slatton, I think, came up with this. 650,000 square yards. I never knew what a square yard was until recently. They said it's about the size of a washing machine. That's a square yard. So 650,000 square yards. They said this was like you could pile up that debris from Ardmore, which is up in the northwest corner of Alabama, from there, and you could run all the way down to Mobile, 3 foot high, 3 foot wide. And this is how much in Cullman County alone. This is not counting the city, Mayor. It's not counting other counties around that were afflicted by humongous amount of debris that we've had to get rid of. But it's done. It's finished. It's all taken care of and gone. And we're just real satisfied with the performance of our personnel out there in the road department and the job they did. And can't be more proud of them. I've told them that to their faces and pat them on the back and really, really appreciate going out there and doing what they did, and including also helping out in municipalities and other places, and also coming into town. I got a little bit of criticism on the Saturday after the tornado hit Wednesday night. And on Saturday, Chairman, what are you doing, letting the road department people put them off the county roads and bring them into the city to help out? Well, remember, as we stated earlier, the city of Cullman is our city. My people have to come in and get medicine. They've got to see doctors. They got to get groceries. They got to buy merchandise. They got to buy fuel, whatever. Electricity off. You got to keep that kerosene in and so forth. Well, you come to the central point as far as services is concerned. So we have to simply clear the roads over here in the east side of Cullman primarily. To clear those out and get them done. So people have got egress and egress and can come and go. It was as much a benefit to us in the county as it was to the city. We were very, very, very proud to do that. And we'll do it again without blinking an eye. Road department has done great too, I'll say that. We've been in the paper a time or two, and I'll reiterate it again. This past September, when we closed our books and balanced out, the first time in, I'm going to say history, I've been with the county since '96. Never before has the road department come in and balanced in the black as far as the fiscal year was concerned. They've always gone over. We've always had to take money out of the general fund to balance them out and carry them forward. This past year, with these two commissioners out there, and they got a good guy as their superintendent to watch over things do, we came in the black 3rd of September, first time ever. First time ever. Again, give them a round of applause. OHV part. They got some new stuff down there, mainly because of the fact that, again, like I told you earlier, had some damage and got some stuff destroyed, but we've also completed building some things. The top building is a new maintenance shed that's just recently been completed for them to work out of. In the middle, you'll see RVs parked there. We had 16 RV sites, but we never had full service for them, hookups. Well, we do have that now. So the systems are in, the sewage and everything is functioning great, and everything's there. We've had a bunch of events recently, and folks pulled in there and performed great. It didn't have a problem one. We've got 16 RV sites right now. We have 20 cabins. It's fully supplied with everything, bathrooms and so forth. And so those are available. And then you have what's called primitive camping. And down at the bottom, that is a bathroom located kind of off in the, I won't say wilderness area, but it's away from where the cabins and all that at. So if you want to pitch tents and so forth and live out there, well, you have bathroom facilities here, men and women, showers in there also, everything there. So it's fixed up very, very nice. I know at 4th of July down at Smith Lake Park, we have a huge number of people that show up and pitch tents. 96 degrees and you're living in a pup tent. I wouldn't dream of doing that. Okay, I mean, you seem like the mosquitoes would eat you alive, you know. But hey, they come and they do it, so you know we'll applaud them. Go right ahead. Okay, looks like an invasion from some bars or something that come in here. This was a thing that we put on last summer, and again, adjacent with a tornado damage. It was scheduled. We wanted to do it. Go ahead with it, type of thing. So we did. It's called the Baja event. Briggs and Stratton puts this thing on. They furnish these colleges engines and so forth, various sizes, whatever they request, and they build the machines and put them together. And then they have these events like this, and you have to prepare the land area to accommodate their trails that they want to do to go through their trials and so forth that they accomplish. And one of them is a water trials. If you've been out in OHB Park, you'll see it. It's still laid out, kind of like a Crazy S type format that we built, prepared for them according to their specifications, and they pay for most of it. But this is just a few of the machines down there that day. You can't really call them four-wheelers. It's just an odd conglomeration of vehicles that they put forward. They had a great time. It's been going on for a number of years. It will begin. We anticipate having them back in 2 years. I think it's a rotation of like every third year or whatever. They'll be back, and they'll be riding again. It's still available. If you want to come down and try it and ride your vehicle through there, you know, have at it. Folks have asked us about coming down and doing their remote control boats and so forth. Beautiful place to do that for. You got close access to them. Water's always calm, and like I say, it's much further around than what it looks. So you got a great place to try those things out if you want to. Go ahead. Kelley County Economic Development Office. They stay busy. They don't do the same thing that Peggy and Dale do up in the City Economic Development Office because you don't need two in the county doing the same thing. So they do one area over there as far as the industry is concerned. We support them, work together in that effort, and then we're after other things. We provide service tries to all of our volunteer fire departments and our municipalities as far as giving them any assistance we can and applying for grants or getting anything else they possibly can do out there for them. And we provide that, and then of course work with the Peggy and Dale and them on anything else they come up with if they may need some assistance on. Lately, they've mainly been involved a lot in these folks that's wanting to get the storm shelters that has been made available through FEMA, and so they're involved in that right now. Okay. Commission on Aging, one of our departments. Biggest event of the year, as you can tell, a lot of you are very familiar with this, is the Senior Christmas thing. It happens every year, every December, over at the Civic Center. It continues to grow. It's got so big now, there's not room to sit them all down in the main auditorium. They have to go up in the balcony and sit there. Best three-looking commissioners I've ever seen in my life. Bars, no. But as you can see in the back at the top, there's folks sitting up there because there's no room at the bottom. And at lunch then, when they serve, they have to come out of the balcony and go to the rooms across the hall, and they're fed over there, and then they come back in the auditorium again, participate in activities. Around 1,000 people this past year. And all the elected officials and so forth get to volunteer to come in and be waiters that day. And some of them are good at it, some of them need to keep their present jobs, you know. Not calling any names, Judge, you know, we're another word about that. 62,580 hot meals served this past year, with 29,211 delivered to the homebound. And they're delivered mostly with volunteers. If you have time on your hands and you have nothing to do, Randall Shedd would hug your neck if you come up there and volunteer to help deliver these homebound meals. And you simply go there with your vehicle, they load them into your car for you and give you, and there's not all that many of them that you go to, but you go in and deliver these meals to these folks there that they can't get out, and they depend on this service. And it's all delivered by volunteers, so it's a fantastic opportunity to do some good in the community. And this is city and county both we're talking about. The Senior RX program, this is the medical program where you get free medicine. They accept out 159 clients with free medication, which is donated from the drug companies, totaling $519,545. I wouldn't have to tell a person in this room, I'm sure, what it costs for medicine. If you don't have insurance, it's terribly, terribly expensive. Some years ago, about 1997, 98, I believe, Mike Cullman, who was director then, came to the commission and told us, he said, there's a program out here where if you'll apply, fill out the paperwork, and send it directly into the pharmaceutical companies, they will send free medication back to those people. But they send it to their doctor's office. So you got to connect with the doctor for no charge, and you simply go to the doctor's office and pick it up when the medicine comes in. Folks, we've been doing this since 1998. We started it. We were the first in Alabama to initiate it and start it, get the wheels rolling. It has grown. Governor Cullman, when he was in office, picked up on it, broadcasting and pushed it. Other governors do the same thing now, so it's spread out throughout Alabama. And I can't tell you how many millions of dollars this has saved our folks out here in the community that's on fixed incomes. And when they get, $700, $800 Social Security or SS, that's all they're getting, and half of it has to go to medicine. This is just like a blessing from above, just about, for these people to get it. You're allowed to stay on it for 6 months, then you've got to come off of it, allow others, and then you go back on the program again. So it's a wonderful, wonderful service that's provided by our folks at the Commission on Aging, okay? Veterans Memorial Park, as you're all are familiar with, used to be our monuments were at the south end of the courthouse. If you try to have a ceremony there, every time that when the train would come through and blow its whistle, or the semis would run up down the road out there, and you couldn't hear yourself think, and you're trying to do honors for your veterans and so forth. And I looked around the lake and realized we've got property up here. We can do this. So we moved everything up to the lake, got some help from various people. Frank helped us somewhat in designing the thing, and got it up there and got it started. But like anything else, you've got to have somebody who can take it by the the helm and push it through. Have you ever had any dealings with Gloria Williams? If we ever get in the war again, I'd like for her to be my general. Let me tell you. She came in and she said, I'll do it, but I'm in charge. It's going to be done my way, and I will see it, and I will get it done, and then I'll turn it back over to you again. And when it's finished, but I don't want any interference. And, yes, ma'am. Go for it. And she went out to these business places. She got money. She got donations. She got labor. And she did a great deal up there in getting our park now to the extent that it possibly has. Then she came in and said, Chairman, I've completed my duty. Turned it back over to me, and now you're back in charge again. I finished what I can do. I felt that she extended her abilities here to that point. So we owe Gloria a big thank you for what she did up there. Yes. Her and all the volunteers that work with her on it, and we're just ever so thankful. This past Veterans Day, when we were having the ceremonies, the mayor and I and several people were sitting up on the podium, and I forget who it was, made the comment, it'd be nice if you had a big pavilion up here to get all this under. And all of a sudden, a couple of the veterans there said, I'll throw in $1,000. I'll throw in $1,000. And boom, boom, different ones. Paul Busman, I think, made the same comment. Several made the comment. Adderholt was over there at the time frame, and he said, hey, I said, we can't get some money in from Washington for it also. And then the man in Cullman County, who's good at raising funds, Chester Freeman, he said, James, I think we could do this. He said, you get us some plans drawn up and get it back, and I will get with our various organizations that I belong to, and we can make this a reality. So we're waiting on Frank Fagg right now to complete the drawing on the pavilion, and then we'll get back with Chester Freeman again, turn that over, and move from there. So we may have that before we know it. I think it would be wonderful to honor our veterans in Cullman County. Those who gave their life in defense of their country, those who were wounded and have served, and those who simply served, didn't come home bearing wounds or so forth. But it's dedicated to all of them, every one of them. Vincent? All right. Smith Lake Park, We've upgraded it. We've added some additional campsites. 4th of July every year. We have a fantastic fireworks show, as good as anybody around, I would say, has done. And it's even more beautiful because you're shooting it out over the lake. And I think that accentuates the fact of the beauty of the fireworks as they're done. And just really, really proud. The county commission sponsors that and put it on each year. So we're not out, going on the hole or anything. It's in the budget already to pay for this. We have a number of cabins down there, camping sites, primitive camping sites. It's a huge park. And then on top of it, we've done walking trails down there, which is a 3-mile trail. I've encouraged Coach Campbell from Cold Springs. He's talked to me about it. Coach Page, you know him. That come down and get your kids involved and run it down here as a course. You can set it up easy enough, and he says he wants to. He's going to do it in the very near future. And then I've encouraged the same thing down at the OHV Park. If the city schools want to get involved, they want to run cross country or some of this nature, hey, you're more than welcome to do it. I think it's great. You can easily lay out a course, but use these parks out there, for what the value. We got bike trails up at Sportsman's Lake. But also, we're trying to develop them even more at the OHV Park because there's been a lot of demand for that. We got the 4-wheeler trails. We've been building horse trails for people to go riding. And now on top of that, we're trying to get it for those that can want to get out there and walk. Okay. Carts, they got a new facility down there to help them deal with this light service on the buses. This past year, they served 14,000 clients. It is not a bus service for the elderly. It is public transportation. Any of you in here can ride that, pay your little ticket, and get on the bus, and you can ride. You schedule your ride the day before, and you go anywhere around that we go. It's a fantastic service, subsidized by the federal government. Mainly, we can kick in some funds, but it's mainly from the federal government. Okay. This is some other pictures. I'm going to kind of scan over these where y'all can see them right quick. Events that transpired at the OHV Park. Like I said, we've had a bunch of them this year. You can tell from the bottom picture the number of 4-wheelers lined up. There are times when we will top 200 people on the weekends. And I'm talking about each day, 200 people down there using that park. The summertime, the numbers drop down. And I couldn't figure out why for a while. That's the prettiest time of the year. It's great weather, But it's dry and it's hot. These people, I think they got a screw loose up here. They want it wet and muddy, And the dirtier they get, and their bikes and so forth, and the prouder they are to come out of that park, all this stuff loaded on the trucks, heading back home again. It's like a symbol, maybe, or whatever. But we try to give them what they want, and make them happy and do it. Okay, where are we at now? Remodeling. Sportsman's Lake Park. We built a new bathhouse. I think those things were done, I don't know how many years ago, but they were definitely needed replacement. We got a new one on the front side of the park. Very, very nice facility in there for the public. And we're getting the one on the back side of the park, which has showers facilities in it. They're renovating that right now and getting that fixed up, so it'll be very, very nice. And because we've also got some RV parking spaces in there, I don't know, Sam, 10, 12, something like that, I believe, at Sportsman's Lake, and there's some primitive camping also. One of our proudest events up there, and of course our major customers that come to Sportsman's Lake Park are little ones. And I don't care if you've been up there with your grandkids or not, but they love to go out on that ramp there, out to the end of it. The Rotary Club fixed us up with this a year or so ago, and expanded it out. And the general public like it, even the grown-up kids like it, and the little ones also. And they sell fish food in there and so forth, and of course they've got to buy a bag of that, go out and feed the ducks and the geese and so forth. They're out there, and they love it. But it's a beautiful flotation device way out there. You can fish on it if you want to, but it was a great addition to Sportsman's Lake, and we greatly appreciate it. Okay. Clarkson Covered Bridge, we're still in the process, y'all. We got about $750,000 in an account of monies that's been given to us for grants to renovate the Clarkson Bridge, because it is recognized as a state historical site. And the problem has been with our engineers, seem like the various ones we've had, they'll get to a certain point, and I don't know if they realize the enormity of the job or just what, but we've had a couple of us pull out and said, we're not going to proceed any further. We quit and going home. So we're with a third one now, and hopefully that will make it through. For a while, they were talking about disassembling the bridge entirely, replacing the lumber that's gone bad, and then putting it back together again. Now they think they can do it a different way that would maybe ease it down and make it a little bit simpler, but we'll see. But it's functional. We have various activities out there going on now. More are being planned this year. People get married out there. They have weddings, Mule Day. They come out. That's their spot that they'll come to. They're covered wagons and mules. They'll have picnics and so forth out there. So it's a nice facility. We get people from all over. I've seen folks from Australia signing the welcome book out there. So it's a well-known site. Okay. Cullman County Water Department, and you see that folks down in the pit there digging, bless the hearts, as you said a while ago, you have to have people of this nature to do that job, or else we all will suffer. This one here, the emphasis is on Harmony School. We've had a problem out there for about 3 years now, getting sufficient water to that school to activate their sprinkler system in case of fire. It requires so many pounds of pressure and all that, and you've got to maintain the pressure. And the school, I don't know, it's been occupied, Steve, probably 3 years now, 4 years, something of that nature. Longer than that. But it will be a reality this year. Everything's being done now. We're moving in to do it, and it will be completed, and that will be finished up. Matter of fact, we've got that project, of course, was high on our list. But we've also got about $6 million more in the bank that we're going to spend on infrastructure this year to make our county water system that much better. Part of it was a bond issue. We did that back in 2010 that we weren't able to touch for a long time. Now we have, and then the bond market said, you've got to hurry up and spend the money. So we'll get that spent this year on infrastructure throughout the county. One of the biggies is that half of our water meters throughout the county, we got a grant, about $3 million, to replace our water meters, from the old-fashioned kind to those that can be remotely read. You don't even have to go out there looking at the meter anymore. You, with a computer and all that, you just press a button, whatever it is, and it will read those meters. And so half of that, the grant was sufficient for half of them. And if we don't get another grant to do that, we have enough money set aside that we can replace the rest of them then and have it. So it'll be much better overall. Safe water, our water losses and so forth. It will be a great blessing for us. All right, Benson. Road projects for 212. As I stated, that we've come into the black this past year. A lot of it was simply because of the fact we were short on money the first year afterwards. There'd been a lot of overspending in the past up through fiscal year 2010, and so we had to regroup into fiscal year 11 and cut back on our spending, and that hurt to boot, and then plus keep it in the black. But we've got that done. Some of our major roads that we've accomplished recently has been 109. Federal Aid Road on County Road 1669, we're getting that redone again this spring. We're constructing a bridge down on County Road 223 now at Dodge City, and we're putting guardrails up on 222. And one of the prouder achievements is, I think, is on County Road 109. That runs if you're going through Dodge City and on down towards Bremen, about halfway down there, make a right turn, you're on County Road 109. It takes you down to Misty Harbor. There's Kenny Grove, I think Baptist Church down there, and then up to the top of the mountain, Ben Self Mountain it's called. Ben Self Mountain is the worst place in Cullman County as far as the road is concerned. It's a dangerous road. It was when I was a kid, we were driving it down, it was dirt and gravel, and it still is, even though it's paved. Never been any guardrails. Well, I've got guardrails being installed now on the thing. It's going to be going up and all the way down the mountain to help these folks. Because if you go off of there, it's like, send us a letter, because you ain't going to see them for a while, and you're not going to get in there to pull that car out. And it is way down young. So anyway, it's a safety factor that needs to be done, and it will. Economic Development Office, this is part of the deal there that Sam was talking about earlier to me on the storm shelters that would be placed in. I think there's a different variety of sound that they can look at, choose from, depending on your needs. And she's been working with these people. The money that we're getting in through the federal government, it will pay up to $4,000 per storm shelter. But 75% of that $4,000, maximum $4,000, they'll pay 75%. The individual has to pay the remainder, 25%. That will pay up to that amount towards that storm shelter. 217 is applied for thus far. They've been having meetings over in City Hall, meeting and talking with them and making the plans and moving forward. Simply because the federal government promises you doesn't necessarily mean the money is there immediately all the time. So you apply, get your request in, and then you wait until they decide that the money is available, or they can help you out. Okay. Our budget, general fund budget. We've all talked about this before, and the money. So Cullman County has a budget of $46 million, and this is distributed out, through just a huge number of organizations we have to provide service to. From that budget, then, the general fund budget is set aside. It totals about $18 million and provides services. If you can't read it, we certain amount transferred to departments, the various outside agencies, commission, the courthouse, the maintenance of it, probably judge's office, revenue office, library, animal shelter, juvenile detention, EMA, safety, sales tax, license, and other government expenditures. The biggest one, of course, being in red there, is the sheriff's office. He makes up about 47% of the general fund money that goes to the sheriff's office to maintain that. They always need more personnel, always do, and I can fully understand that. I know, like with our drug problem in Cullman County, like all the other counties are facing, I think Mike Rainey's just done a super job in going after them. I don't think not too many of them people can get sleep, a good night's sleep every night, because Sheriff Rainey's out there rattling the door, or the threat of it is, so they got to stay awake, stay alert, so they can scoot and run if he does show up. So he's got some fear implanted in them anyway, and that's helping to reduce it down. And but he's really been making inroads into locking these people up. But that's the general fund monies. Like I say, we're in balance. We do not go beyond our revenue. We haven't had very much of an excess, very little coming in the past 4 years. We have revenue set aside, though, for emergency funding in case something should happen. Yet that's there, so we're providing for it in that context. And we have lost thus far in the 3 years that I've been in office. We've lost approximately 25 employees through retirement and attrition, and we have not replaced those. We have looked, we've evaluated, consolidated jobs, and revamped the stuff from the road department to sanitation, water, courthouse, and anyway, we thought we could get along without those. We simply have to with the budget and the situation it's in. We have not been able to provide a pay raise for a while, but neither has a lot of folks out here in private industry. And but at least my people have got jobs, they got benefits, and they're grateful for that. We provide our service to the public every day, and I'm proud of the fact that we can do that and do it that well. Okay. You can't hardly half read that. There's just various major departments and agencies outside to get our help. We would be glad to provide that too if you want to. Go on to the next one and next one. Like I said, it looks pathetic. We had money set aside. It was $1.2 million, I believe, that was set aside, and we went out for bids to redo the exterior of the courthouse. And then they had about $250,000, Sam, somewhere in that area type thing, to redo the windows and get that done. That was a big blessing, getting that in to help us out on it and get that marble off. And then the tornado hit, and kaboom, here was the roof, and so that had to be taken care of, but thankfully, through insurance and so forth, most of that's covered. And so that's also going to be taken care of. Woody Jacobs from Edson Associates said that they estimated about 10 months when they started, but they're ahead of schedule right now, looking real good. And I'm optimistic by the middle of summer, we ought to be getting a lot closer than we anticipate to finishing the thing up. But I know it aggravates everybody. It's a hindrance to the employees, somewhat to the general public, and we're trying to work it every which way we can to make it safe. The security entrance has to stay where it's at. You cannot move it anywhere else. We've tried, and it simply does not work to provide security. So what we're going to do this when they get around shifting around to the back door of the courthouse, where you all come and conduct your business, we're going to work it so that they're going to come in and try to work. Like I said, start Thursday afternoon, work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on the back part of the courthouse. Take the marble off, get the really dangerous stuff away from there, and then we'll be back in Monday to function Monday through say Thursday lunchtime, and then provide them the ability to come in the afternoon. Like I said before, some of those big sheets, 500 pounds, 400 pounds, 200, 100 pounds, and you don't want one of them dropping on you anywhere. It's going to do serious damage. If it comes. The roof of the security entrance, anything, the safety tunnels you put up, that would be like a mosquito, trying to protest or hold it off. It would crash right through it. So we've got to make that our first consideration as far as people coming to the courthouse and remaining open and providing our service. So that's where we're going to conduct that and get it done. I think that's all. County's in good shape. Thank y'all very much. Appreciate being here today.